This is KGW News at Sunrise.
I've been here before and I really enjoyed it, but now I don't know if I want to stay down here.
I think that we have a good group that really want to, get people back into the area. But every day it's like, what am I gonna see? What's gonna happen? It's making me a little more uneasy traveling down here every day.
Yeah, people in downtown Portland feeling kind of anxious after a deadly shooting this week. This morning on Sunrise, we are breaking down the latest information on the suspect in that shooting.
Plus, we've been talking all week long about the solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow. Coming up, Rod will update how likely we are to see the Ring of Fire here in Oregon.
And this morning, we are celebrating a double dose of spooky in St. Helens. You can tell by the music, right? We're just weeks out from Halloween, and today is Friday the 13th. Ooh. I know. So St. Helens puts on a big celebration every single year called Spirit of Halloween Town. They've already got the fun started with that jack-o'-lantern. It was the setting, actually, for those classic Disney films, so they're really playing it up.
I forgot it was Friday the 13th.
I knew it was Friday.
Absolutely.
I just didn't, the idea that it was 13th didn't cross my mind until Christine.
Right now.
Isn't it true that Friday the 13th is the day that you are most likely to go into a haunted house and never come back out?
I have heard that, Rod. Yes, I can confirm.
Okay. Thank you, Linda.
Off to a strange start this morning.
Yes, we are. Let's get you going on a dry morning. A reminder, you can see the rain out here. The forecast hasn't really changed. We're going to be dry through the morning hours, dry into the afternoon here in the valley. Now, you folks at the beach could see raindrops as early as 12 o'clock noon. We're at 61 along the river because of this. East winds are still blowing. They picked up yesterday. Those are sustained at 17. If you don't have any wind at your place, you could be down into the 40s this morning. So it's a big variance temperature-wise, but we are dry. Partly cloudy to becoming cloudy today, 65 at noon. There are the showers expected at 5 p.m. and going to the evening. Not a lot of rain, but we'll get some. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, thanks for that. The live look at the roads from our Rose City Sky Camera. This, of course, is the Markham Bridge. I-5 northbound traffic splintering off to I-84 there, and you can see really light volume on that side of town. We'll switch gears real quick. We'll take you out to the Sunset out near Murray Boulevard. Again, light traffic there, and the trip over the Interstate Bridge. Just a couple of cars right now making that southbound commute. So, ladies, so far no crashes, no unexpected delays.
Chris, thank you.
Israel has ordered an unprecedented evacuation of more than 1 million people in northern Gaza, preparing for a possible ground assault today. The UN predicts this will lead to a humanitarian disaster and has urged Israel to rescind the order. In the meantime today, a former Hamas leader is calling for a worldwide day of protest in support of the Palestinians. So far, the war has killed 1,300 Israelis and at least 1,500 Palestinians.
We failed on Saturday. This is our responsibility. But now we're fighting.
There is no crossing borders, nothing left for anyone to do. It's a huge, big cage that we are trapped inside.
Our hearts are with all those who...
Today, the U.S. Secretary of Defense is in Tel Aviv meeting with Israeli leaders. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken is meeting with the president of the Palestinian Authority. They will discuss the fallout from the terror attack on Israel.
Taking in all of this information, all the images we're seeing of war, often unfiltered on social media, yeah, it's a lot for anyone, especially kids though. So how do you talk to them about what they're seeing? We checked in with a local expert to get some tips on how to have those tough conversations. That segment is coming up at 5:15.
Court documents are giving us a closer look at what led up to a shooting in downtown Portland that left one man dead and another injured.
The suspected shooter, who turned himself into police, made his first appearance in court yesterday. Devin Haskins is live in downtown Portland with a look at the timeline. Good morning, Devin.
Yeah, good morning. The court documents in this case paint a picture of what happened and led up to that fatal shooting, with the suspect arrested for both of those crimes. 47-year-old Jeffrey Hammond made his first appearance before a judge yesterday. For just a few minutes, he faces charges of murder and attempted murder. The court documents say Hammond was idling in front of the Moxie Hotel at 10th and Alder. He was partially blocking traffic. The victim, Ryan Martin, was in a vehicle behind him. Police say it turned into a road rage incident with the two flipping each other off. Martin got out of his truck and walked up to Hammond's SUV and tapped on the window. The court documents say Hammond rolled his window down and immediately shot Martin in the chest. Martin fell, pleading with Hammond, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day." Police say Hammond tried to shoot Martin a second time, but say his gun malfunctioned. Then, as this was happening, a man walked out of the Moxie Hotel and was recording on his phone. Documents show that Hammond shot that person in both legs. Hammond then called 911 while driving to the courthouse to turn himself in, admitting to police to shooting both and telling police that he believed he was justified. This all happening on new Police Chief Bob Day's first day on the job.
You know, I came back to this role. I love the Bureau. I love the city. And it truly breaks my heart to see the pain and the messaging yesterday as I sat in my office, you know, wrapping up my first day on the job, and to see and hear the call come out and just know the harm that perpetuates in the beliefs of me.
KGW was also able to track down some additional information about Hammond. We've learned he founded a financial company in Portland, but filed for bankruptcy earlier this year. Court records also show Hammond owned 4 guns and previously used the name Jeffrey Mandelis. And under that name, court documents indicate he had a criminal history in Illinois, including charges of assault, vandalism, trespassing, and domestic battery. Hammond is expected to be back in court sometime next week. Back to you.
Thank you for that report, Devin. We have also been hearing from people who work in or visit downtown Portland. Many say they're looking over their shoulder and that the sound of sirens are becoming routine. Thomas Schultz has the story.
It was just chaos.
Naomi Lake had just landed in Portland for her nephew's wedding. When she tried to check into the Moxie Portland Hotel, she was greeted by police.
And they wouldn't let us come in the front door. And there was police tape everywhere, and they wouldn't let us come in because it was an active crime scene.
Thursday morning, Moxie staff were busy repairing and covering broken windows. And their visitors are seeing Portland in a different light after 3 downtown homicides over 4 days.
I've been here before, and I really enjoyed it. Now I don't know if I want to stay down here.
Do we have to close the business? Are we safe down here? So.
Workers are anxious too.
What am I risking, you know, coming down here every day to work?
Jordan Hyder has worked down the street at Wildfang for a year. She's gotten used to hearing sirens.
We just heard a whole bunch of patrol cars, ambulance, but that's just a normal day down here.
At first, she thought nothing of the noise, though that's changed.
It just makes me a little more uneasy.
Still, despite the nearby shooting, Hyder says she's optimistic for the future of downtown.
I think that we have a good group that really want to, you know, get people back into the area. But every day it's like, what am I gonna see? What's gonna happen? You know, it's just making me a little more uneasy traveling down here every day. So.
A little more uneasy, like many living or visiting Portland.
I mean, I don't want to scare tourists away, but it kind of scared me, being a tourist.
Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
For the latest developments on this story, including the full details about what we've uncovered about the suspect in the case, go to kgw.com and follow us on social media.
Just a quick heads up this morning, do not be alarmed if you see people being evacuated from Portland's aerial tram on Sunday. It's only a drill. Portland Fire and Rescue does it every year as an emergency training exercise. This all will start Sunday at 9 a.m., should wrap up by noon. All tram staff are required to complete this training.
Yeah.
If you're that far up, I want them to be prepared.
Yes,
Have
absolutely.
you ever ridden up and back?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that view of the city. That happening on Sunday. Before that, on Saturday, everyone getting ready for the solar eclipse or the annular eclipse. So what you had to look on your face.
That's on Saturday. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm thinking I don't even enjoy our fire drills, and they're having to do
that.
Goodness gracious.
You got to do it though.
You do. All right, let's start with what's happening tomorrow morning, shall we? So the graphic has the Portland Times on it, the annular solar eclipse. Again, this is where the moon basically moves in front of the sun. It doesn't totally cover it up, so you get this red fiery ring around the periphery of the sun. Now, the first time you'll see the moon start to encroach upon the sun is 8:06 here in the Rose City. The peak, the most coverage, if you will, of the moon over the sun will be 9:19 in the morning. It all ends at 10:39. Now, all week we've been telling you this. Growing confidence that we will be dry tomorrow morning. The weather modeling, you can look at various ways to determine if the cloud deck is going to be solid or not. Most of the data shows the cloud deck will not be solid, which means there's absolute promise that there will be breaks in the cloud cover. So maybe we get, you know, a pretty decent peak at the big show tomorrow morning. Certainly no guarantees. We're trying to be as hopeful as we can. Now, let me play you the Futurecast movie. I'm going to start it today because I do want to take you through today's weather. We're dry this morning. At noon, we'll start the rain chance along the coast. Then here we are at 4 p.m. Now, I do believe this rain could come in sooner than what this shows. I'm starting the chance of rain in Salem as soon as 3 o'clock, as soon as 4 in Portland. But clearly, once we get into the evening, there's going to be some showers coming through. Now, this is tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Now we're just minutes before the eclipse begins. We are dry, and Futurecast right now, this is going to vary. This model updates numerous times during the day. Right now, it's like, wow, look at those breaks up and down I-5. That'd be fantastic. The more consistent messaging this week has been the best chance of breaks will be down south of Eugene and then over into central Oregon. So we'll see. At any rate, tomorrow morning is dry. Here we are at 11 o'clock. Now, did you notice during the show, it kind of clouds things back up. So fingers crossed we'll get a glimpse. Showers come in the latter part of tomorrow afternoon. The timing on rain tomorrow is actually looking very similar to today. For most of us here in the valley, it's late afternoon into the evening. Good visibility coming into town this morning. 61 along the Columbia River because the east winds are blowing there, keeping temperatures up. Where it's calmer, we're in the 40s, including Salem and Eugene. It's 25 out in Burns this morning, near freezing over in Bend. Here is the 7-day. Hey, Sunday, I'm still telling you there's a shower chance, but this day is looking better and better, and I've upped the temperature to 71. Now I need to go relax and rest.